That's really interesting. Drawing it's such a big part of my art life as well. It's to be honest, I think everything starts from there. If you
Mm,
think about it, like it's really rare you find an artist that it didn't start by drawing. And
yeah.
sometimes we, as artists, we kind of like forget about drawings, and we don't
Mm,
really give them much of importance. That's why a lot of people like starts like they do the drawings and then they start painting and they kind of like leave it on the side the drawing. They don't give that
exactly.
much of importance. Something that I
Exactly.
try to do, and that's why I go really interesting into your work. It's try to
Mm,
integrate the painting and the drawings as well. So
mm,
one of my series it's about immigration, and I'm trying to develop this technique where
mm,
I use oil painting but as a drawing media. So it's I'm trying to do this and it kind of like I did some exhibition last year, and it's
mm,
people were interested in the technique and how they did not believe it was oil painting because it was used as a
okay.
normal drawing ink kind of,
Mm,
um
okay.
so yeah, that's for me drawing it's really important, and I think everybody should kind of like give the honor to drawing because it's not that um it's not a second art. It's there is a lot of
Mm,
importance in drawings. Um
mm,
I saw something that you said as well, like you try to paint almost like everyday scenario. It's
mm,
for you like this daily aspect of or in your paintings. It's
yeah.
important. Um,
Yeah.
and I saw some paintings that are really funny and nice, like make you smile. There is one where
Yeah.
there is a guy roller skating or skateboarding, I think. And then there is another girl where there is a bag, like just a shopping bag near her.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and those are super relatable and they're super nice to look at.
Mm.
What does it inspire you about? Like, what's the daily, the routine that inspires you and you wants to make, like, you want to paint that?
Actually, for me as an African, I feel like we should be able to tell our stories, so we don't need to wait on some white men to tell our story for us. We need to we have encounter with these people by ourselves, so we should be able to tell our stories. So it is what we notice every day, our daily lives. So we should be able to tell our stories though. I was inspired to tell my environment stories. Even I have little children around me, so I tend to tell most of the story. How do children in Africa live? How do adults end their livings? After going to work, coming back home, how do we feel? So this is how we feel, and most times those things are actually relatable. So
Mm,
we should be tell our stories. So I was inspired to tell African stories,
that's
even though
amazing.
we have been like, let me say, we have been occupied with a lot of things, a lot of diversities in Africa. So we have been able to relate with those people and actually telling their stories as well. So yeah.
Yeah, because it's such a diverse um population, civilization that when, for example, in
Yeah.
Nigeria, I have a girlfriend that's from
Yeah.
Zambia, and I've been there,
Mm,
and I travel a little bit in Tanzania as well. So
mm,
there's so much uh, culture into the culture. There's so many
yeah.
different aspects, even the so many different dialects, language they
Mm,
you guys can
yeah.
speak, and
Yeah.
it's so diverse, and there is so much that you can explore with your art, with your painting that makes completely sense that you are the one telling those stories, and as
Mm,
you said, you are not waiting for anybody else to do it.
mm,
There is something going on right now in even in movies, even in like in pop culture in general. Um, people want to tell these stories, as you're saying, for example, the
Mm.
Nigerian people stories or whatever, but it's being told by people that are not from the place, and they are people
Inside,
from, they are not, they cannot
inside.
relate to their story. So it's really important what you're doing, yeah, the aspect of your art, that you are the
Mm.
one want to tell the story. You are the one who wants to uh, direct the narrative of
Inside.
the Nigerian people, as you said. So
Yeah.
I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, it's I don't know, it's especially with portraiture, it's something that we basically at least you're doing art just for the fun of it, which is fine, which is great. Everybody should do some sort of art. Um,
Yeah.
But if you are like a serious artist, a professional artist, and you are doing portraiture, you're basically
Mm.
telling with every canvas, with every piece of paper, every drawing, you're basically telling
Mm.
stories. You're telling
Yeah.
it's a storytelling um, talent that you try to
Yeah.
create, try to achieve
Yeah.
with just an images, which is kind of like it's still image. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't speak. It doesn't say anything to you. But
Mm.
with that painting, with that drawing, you're trying to say a story about somebody. People try
Mm.
to make a story about that painting, about that drawing. So
Yeah.
it's really important that if you do portraiture as us, we keep in
Mm.
mind that because it's not just a painting about a face. It can be, but
Yeah.
it's not just. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really nice. It's really nice when I encounter like guests like you that yeah they care about the story behind the painting. It's not just a painting.